In the Blue Crew Junior Cup, we will know in very short order. 6 laps time, in fact, and when Hunter Corney will start from pole position, Hunter Charlotte in second, Rossi McAdam in third, Ethan Johnson, who has also tasted the checkered flag this weekend, will start on row 2 along with Nicholas Lazos and Elijah Andrew, who had his best result in a Blue Crew Junior Cup weekend so far in the 2 races. Jai Strugnall, Henry Hind and Jed Louis on row 3, Phoenix O'Brien, Zake Beckinsdale and Augustus O'Halloran on row 4, and Ethan Pelgrave, the younger brother of John Pelgrave, who races in the Supersport 300 category, will round out the Blue Crew Oceania Junior Cup field. And Steve, you mentioned before about how lucky they are to have Gary McCoy as their mentor, but the pace that some of these guys are showing from the beginning of the season to now at the halfway point is just absolutely incredible.
Oh, it is. I mean, like, most of the way that it works is half of the guys there and girls have probably had 1 or 2 years in, and then there's a whole bunch of new people that have come in. So it sort of like circles through over a 2 or 3 year period, depending on how old the riders are.
Riders now coming round to take up their positions. Hunter Corney on pole position on board bike number 40. Leads the championship coming into this weekend. We get ready to go racing. Junior Cup is go. No Rossi McAdam on the outside of the front row of the grid either. Bike number 14 was missing as they make their way down towards turn 1 for the first time. It is Corney that tips into turn 1 in the lead. Lazos up into 3rd position. Look, not as good a start this time for the South Australian, Jai Strugnall, who's back into about 6th or 7th position, Steve, on board bike number 99. Looks like Henry Hind's got a great start on board bike number 68 and is up into 6th position as they make their way under the bridge and down towards Motul Corner for the first time. But it is still Corney that leads the race.
Yeah, good to see. Great there. There's Jed Lewis, a decent start from him. Phoenix O'Brien just behind him. Zane Beckinsdale's there too. Augustus O'Halloran, that's good for him, up in 11th position. Ethan Pelgrave down there in that 12th, but up the front it's Hunter Corney. Probably the man that's won the most of these races, I would say. Of course, the number 48, Augustus O'Halloran, we spoke about him. He's in that good group. A group of 3 have just broken away slightly, probably by being just that little bit more aggressive in the first half of the lap. But yeah, those guys, including Nicholas Lazos, whose form's come on really well.
Ethan Johnson, big move there, trying to go around the outside at the corner. Well, you mentioned it in your track preview, Steve, that it is a very tricky part of the circle. We've seen some great overtaking maneuvers, normally up the inside, not usually around the outside. So big move there from Ethan Johnson. But then again, he's shown great form this weekend. He's already won 1 race along with Hunter Charlotte. And usually we see Hunter Corney taking a majority of the race wins. Well, he's been relegated this weekend and he's had a few more contenders to try and take his title.
There's Elijah, probably Elijah's dad there, I'd say, just egging him on. Good position for him, in 5th position at the moment. As they head into turn 1, the Alpine Stars corner here as well.
That little gap that we saw open up early on in the first lap is certainly closed up now as we see the riders in 2nd or 3rd, 4th and 5th actually really start to close up now, led by Hunter Charlotte. Nicholas Lazos has dropped back to 4th position. No, he's at 5th position now. Yeah, they come out of turn 4.
Yeah, Hunter Charlotte's really made his way forward in this group, hasn't he?
Yeah, and Elijah Andrew as well on board bike number 18. So this has got to be Elijah Andrew's best weekend for the young man from Western Sydney. But as I mentioned earlier on to you, Steve, that I think that the fact that this circuit probably has a fair bit more in common with the Luddenham Raceway circuit that he trains on in Western Sydney a majority of the time is probably also helping him out there as well. A very tricky short circuit with a lot of elevation changes.
Good to see Henry Hind in that top group too, in that top 7 there, just on the number 68 machine, sitting there. Jed Lewis just behind him, a little bit of a gap to him, and Zane Beckinsdale behind him as well. But there is that number 99, taking the number from his dad. His dad used to race number 99.
And where did his dad select number 99 from, Steve?
Well, yeah, there's a few number 99.
A former great South Australian racer that started out with number 99.
Yeah, well, it's a good feeling to see it funneled down in a good way.
So it is Ethan Johnson that leads them across the line, is it? No, Hunter Corney pulls out of the slipstream and leads across the line by the scant margin of 0.054 of a second. In fact, we've got 0.5 of a second covering the top 7 as they made their way across the line to complete the first flying lap.
Yeah,
So 6 laps is the race distance.
and by turn 1, there's half a second over the top 7. So tight in this front group here. Look at that, 3-4 wide at the moment as they head down the hill into Modal. Hard on the brakes, up the inside goes Hunter Charlotte, who's not too worried about that shabby start that he got because it's all behind him now and there's nothing in front of him, just clear track.
Well, the other thing is though too that these are the lightest bikes that we see on track all weekend, and this circuit, one of the most bumpy. The way that the Blue Crew technical team have been able to work with the riders and get these bikes set up to adapt with those bumps, they look pretty smooth coming through Motul and all the way down to Honda Corner Turn 6, which is one of the more bumpy parts of the other circuit. So well done to the Blue Crew technical team that have done a sensational job as always here this weekend, and of course their coach Gary McCoy, who we saw running with them in Ugg boots early in the morning, but doing a great job getting these young riders up to pace.
Yeah, I wasn't going to mention the Ugg boots, but anyway.
Don't usually go running in Ugg boots. Oh, Elijah Andrew having a big look up the inside there of Hunter Charlotte on board bike number 73.
Oh, Hunter Charlotte's got bigger problems than that because he's just, we've been informed, he's going to get a jump start penalty. So Hunter Charlotte, wherever he finishes in this race, he will get a jump start penalty.
And at the moment, that's going to put him back to probably outside of the top 10.
Well, it's so close, isn't it? So close up the top. 9.8 seconds back to Phoenix O'Brien in that 10th spot.
You can see Jason Corney there, Hunter Corney's dad giving him the pit signal. And of course, Jason Corney, no stranger to paddocks, been in many paddocks all over the world, including MotoGP. And doing a great job here, bringing through the next generation of riders. His son doing a sensational job. Look at this run down the inside. Is that bike number 73, Hunter Charlotte? Got great drive. And Elijah Andrew was making a bid also for second position. Has to slot back into third on board bike number 18. So sitting there in third position, Corney leads, Ethan Johnson in second. Andrew in third place. Lazos has a lunge up the inside of Hunter Charlotte to take up the running now in fourth. Nicholas Lazos, a very excitable customer as we saw when he took that podium in the earlier race today, race 2 of the 3 for the weekend. This is their third and final outing here at the midway point of the season, Steve. So doing a great job at the moment. Our championship leader, Hunter Corney, hasn't had the best of weekends, but I'm sure he'll forget all of that if he can take the win in the last race of the weekend and move on to the next round, of course, to be held at the spiritual home of Australian motorcycling at Phillip Island.
Nicholas Lazos there in the number 11 machine. He's been improving every weekend that he's on this bike. He really has. Podium earlier today, and he's just moved himself back up now into that podium position at about the right time of the race to start making your way forward too. Only a couple of laps to go in this one, so if you can get yourself forward and into that front group, that's exactly where you want to be at the moment.
Yeah, Jai Struggle doing a great job to hang on to the back of this lead group as well, as Hunter Charlotte needs to keep that pace up. He can't afford to be dropping back, because at the moment, if he comes across the line in that position, he will still finish in 9th position. So the gap over 10th place Phoenix O'Brien sufficient that he will only go back to 9th once the 10-second penalty is applied.
Big tip in there from Ethan Johnson, just whacked it on his knee and made it round, all tucked in behind those screens.
You can see there the line from Hunter Corney. He was in perfect position. Lazos, he just looks aggressive, doesn't he, Nicholas Lazos? He looks like he's having an absolute whale of a time. Quick look over the shoulder there from Ethan Johnson, and all he saw was a whole lot of Yamaha R15s. It looked like a Yamaha dealership. There were so many of them lined up next to him.
You'd look aggressive if you were in third and wanted to be in first place too, Phil.
So he's doing a great job to try and reel them back in through this fast run down the hill as Johnson goes into the lead. Ethan Johnson, a smooth dive up the inside.
Hunter Corney, he looks to go around the outside, can't quite do that there. Nicholas Lazos again has slipped back down into that 4th or 5th position.
That was Elijah Andrew coming up into 3rd position.
Yeah.
Lazos and Andrew go through the first part of the chicane, side by side. They were rubbing knee sliders on each other as they will get the last lap board now. So Johnson leads across the line, Willie, or it is a dead heat almost between him and Hunter Corney as they come across the line. Hunter Corney goes for the second twist of the throttle before he gets on the brakes and blips the throttle hard, coming down into AMMF corner. Goes back into the lead. Well, you can see now his intentions are quite clear. He wants to try and lead without anyone getting anywhere near him, and he'll leave the other 5 riders to dispute the final podium positions. He may not have it all his own way, though, because they're getting a great run down the hill into Motul corner and coming up the inside. I thought Charlotte was going to have a big move up the inside of Johnson, but he couldn't get it done.
Oh, a bit of contact there, I reckon, with the last 2 in that group. I think it was Jai Strugnall and Elijah Andrew just tipped into each other there, but all good.
So it is Corney that still leads at Honda Corner, turn 6.
Remember that the number 73, Hunter Charlotte, won't be included in these results.
No, he's sitting in 3rd place on the road. Currently, he will only just finish in maybe 8th position. As we take the run down through Motorcycling Australia, Racing Road and Dunlop for the final time. Johnson, can he go up the inside? Ethan Johnson? He does. He goes up the inside in a similar mover to what we saw JJ Marlos do earlier on today on board the Supersport machine.
Watch Lazos up the inside. Look at Lazos up the inside.
How was there no contact there, Steve? As Lazos made a desperate bid to try and get up into 2nd. He'll have to settle for 3rd, but he needs to keep the momentum up as they come out of Ducati corner and head towards the finish line. But it is Ethan Johnson on bike number 31 that leads.
Watch Corney, though.
Corney in the slipstream. Can Corney pull out and get the run to the line? I think he's just going to do it, Steve. Corney will take the win. His first win of the weekend for the championship leader. Ethan Johnson in 2nd. And Elijah Andrew, that would be his first podium in the category, 0.427 of a second behind the race lead. And Elijah Andrew, the man from Western Sydney, on board bike number 18, first podium in the Blue Crew Junior Cup in his 2nd year in the category, with Nicholas Lazos in 4th. Hunter Charlotte will go back to 8th position, so that will put Jai Strugnall up into 5th. Lewis in 6th place, Hind in 7th, Beckinsdale in 8th.
Well, that was a great race. Hunter Corney wins again. Ethan Johnson in 2nd. Elijah Andrew, his first podium. Nicholas Lazos, a 4th this time out, 3rd last time. Hunter Charlotte in 5th, but with that penalty imposed as well, it's a 10-second penalty. Jai Strugnall, good weekend for him. Jed Lewis, Henry Hind and Zane Beckinsdale in 9th.
Yeah, Phoenix O'Brien, Augustus O'Halloran, Ethan Pelgrave got the better of Adam Jordan over the last lap to finish 1 position ahead, and Zach Russo rounds out the final race for the Blue Crew Oceania Junior Cup field. Plenty more action coming up here from Morgan Park after this short break.